This video comes with this sidebar printable, and in the next video in this series you'll get access to this editable weekly layout free printable. But for today's video, we're talking about how to make an overlay. Overlays are a great way to keep track of something like a cleaning schedule, a cleaning routine. Here I have daily cleaning tasks, and then it also allows you to add scheduled to-do sections and this week's sections without having to rewrite this week to week. So the first step is, of course, to print out the free printable. Make sure the transparency film that you buy is compatible with your printer. For example, I have an inkjet printer, so I bought inkjet printer transparency sheets. Step 2 is to cut your transparency to approximately 6.38 inches by 9 inches. You want your transparency to be smaller than the Happy Planner page itself because the laminated page is going to add about 1/8 of an inch to each of the sides. You want the final laminated page to be the size of your classic Happy Planner page, which is 7 inches by 9.25 inches. So we want a gap around the transparency. So I cut the transparency down to 6.38 inches approximately by 9 inches, and to leave that 1/8 of an inch gap on all sides except the punched side. Because we are punching holes on the punched side, we want to leave about 1/2 inch gap. When I was cutting my overlay, I was definitely not trying to be perfect. The important thing here is that we have a little bit of a gap on each side. I am placing the transparency inside of a 3mm laminating pocket and making sure that is pushed all the way up against that top corner, making sure that there's space on the left side and the right side so the laminate is able to create that seal all the way around my transparency. The reason why I am laminating this instead of just using the transparency sheet itself is because laminating helps the overlay to be sturdier so it can withstand heavy weekly use, and it also prevents any sort of printer ink from potentially getting smudged. So next we need to cut the excess laminate off so that your overlay is 7 inches by 9.25 inches if you have a classic size Happy Planner page. It makes the process go a lot quicker if you can line up the laminated transparency with the Happy Planner page, so you are making sure that everything is in the correct position. It's also important to keep a laminated seal around the entire edge of the transparency. Step 5 is to punch holes. Now we need to punch holes in the side. Once again, I'm using the Happy Planner page to make sure that the holes will be punched in the correct locations on the overlay. In this video, I'm just making overlays for the left side of the spread, but these can definitely be made for both sides, and we'll talk more about that as we get into part 2 of the series when I go into depth on how to actually create this overlay on your computer and really customize it for your schedule. So now I want to show a way that you can use stickers with the overlay. Stickers are completely optional. You don't have to use them if you don't want to. The cool thing about this overlay is that it allows for versatility. You can change out the stickers you are using from week to week, but now setting up your planner only takes a fraction of the time. In the scheduled section at the top, you could either print your routines onto the overlay using the printer if they don't change from week to week, or if they do change, you could write them out using a wet erase marker. It's key here that it's a wet erase marker, not a dry erase marker, because a dry erase marker would come off in your planner. And then erase any day that needs to be changed using a wet paper towel. And you could also just not write anything here, so leave this empty and only write in something if you have, say, an appointment, like a dentist appointment, a doctor's appointment. Just as a final example, you could just have this checklist in your sidebar. So let's say that it's week number 1. So maybe you are starting off with these 4 tasks these need to get done this week. And maybe you finish this task and this task. but you don't finish these 2 tasks this week. And then it's week number 2 and you now have additional tasks that need to get done. Then during week number 2, maybe the top priority is to prep for jury duty because that's coming up next week. You also need to call your insurance company. But maybe you still haven't gotten the rest of the tasks done. And then you move to the next week and you have more tasks. This is the point when you run out of space in your list and you can start, if you want to, you can start erasing tasks. And I just write in the new task. So you're not having to migrate the tasks every single week because they're on this transparency that can move with you week to week. In addition to adding tasks that change, you can use the sidebar for repeated tasks or routines. Once again, if you print them onto your sidebar or into the individual days using your printer. And this allows you to then check off the tasks as you complete them and then just easily erase those check marks once your week is done and once you are ready to reset. Using an overlay is my new favorite way to save time planning out each week because it can be fully customized to fit your needs. And look at all the writing that you save yourself, but you're also staying on track, especially if you're someone like me who gets distracted easily and who needs like a list to work off of to stay on task and stay focused. Something like this can be really helpful. I hope that this video gave you some ideas for creating an overlay for your planner. For more ideas about incorporating repetitive tasks without having to rewrite them from week to week, check out this video next, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye! But you're taking them down. It's tearing me apart. I can't pretend. Now I have to get over you again.